So look, the big release now when it comes to the world of video games is a franchise that I very much love, is the new Metroid game, Metroid Prime 4. Uh, First, Eric, any interest in Metroid Prime 4?
I have it pre-ordered.
Do you? Okay. Comes out, what, tomorrow? I think, is that right? Yes, tomorrow.
December 4th. Whatever day today is.
All the reviews are out right now. They are from the traditional access media. And wouldn't you know it, I would say it's not scoring as well as I thought it would, as a general 8 out of 10 here. This is courtesy of Metacritic. It's gotten a couple hundreds here, but PC Mag, Giant Bomb gave it 100. IGN notably gave it essentially an 8 out of 10. Forbes 9 out of 10. You can see it right there. I'm curious, just curious, who gave it a mixed review. Let's see who gave it.
I can give you kind of an overview what I think happened, if you care.
Yes, that's what we're doing here. Yeah,
yeah. So what I think, I watched a couple of reviews, 3 or 4, and what it seems like is that the high points are high, and the low points are extremely low. So what it does right, atmosphere, story, gameplay, all those things, the mechanics, everything true to form, back to form. Retro Studios is one of their best games. That's what I'm hearing over and over again. But the consistent complaint is what everyone feared, which were these buddies that you talk with the entire time, and they do a lot of hand holding. And Metroid has always been the opposite of hand holding. It's all about exploration without anyone telling you what to do. So that's what seems to be the issue. And I think it's interesting that they did fail to, it seemed intentionally, exclude them from the early marketing, because I guess maybe that's something that Nintendo realized, at least in the beginning. So that's what I think is going on here. Had you eliminated the hand-holding and the NPC characters, that whole side story, this probably would have been a 9, is my guess.
You're saying that when we got started today, you said that you were wrong, your theory about all this.
Yeah.
Why don't you go into that a little bit more?
Extraordinarily wrong. I'm like, I can't wait to be so right. I was the most wrong ever, because I thought that Miles character, if you remember, this is that very annoying character that you meet. I was like, oh, okay, I bet you he's just comic relief in the beginning. He's your tutorial just to get you started for newcomers, because Metroid, their sales numbers are never as good as the other Nintendo properties. Like, all right, they're trying something new. And then once the tutorial's over, he'll die or something, and that'll be a call to action to start doing something, right? That's when you'll see the main villain, it kills him or whatever, and then you go on. Nope. It appears that he's along the whole time, as well as other characters that we haven't seen yet. So that seems to be the big issue, at least from the 3 or 4 reviews I saw.
I'm a bad Metroid fan. I have not played. I didn't play Dread.
You would love Dread.
I know everybody says I'd love Dread.
You won't love it. You wouldn't love it as much as like Super Metroid and stuff like that, because it's a different kind of vibe. It's almost like the Mr. X character in Resident Evil chasing you, or Nemesis in Resident Evil. So it's Metroid and a little bit of like Nemesis together, but it's still a great Metroid game. So I think you'd probably put that as like an 8, Dread.
Yeah, the thing I always loved about Super Metroid was just the discovery of it. And obviously, I have nostalgia for it. I remember playing through that game with my boy Mike when I was in middle school. We'd spent the summer. We played through Super Metroid and Ken Griffey Jr. baseball and stuff. And those were 2 games that we played a lot over at his house. And so a lot of nostalgia for that. Obviously, I started a brand called Screw Attack, and that being the most powerful power-up in that game and the Metroid series as a whole. But yeah, man, I feel like I'm a bad Metroid fan because I haven't played Dread yet, and I know that I'll be shamed for that, and rightfully so. The Metroid Prime series, I bought the remaster of it, and I played a little bit on the Switch when it came out. I've never.
Was that your first Prime game?
Metroid Prime 1?
The remaster, was that your first time playing it?
I tinkered with it a little bit. I remember playing it on the GameCube when it first came out, and I never wanted to be in the visor, if that makes sense. I always wanted to play like the 2D action of it. So being being in the visor as Samus was never really that appealing to me. So I don't know if like starting at Metroid Prime 4 really makes a whole lot of sense for me. But I know a lot of people really love the Prime series. Eric, have you spent much time?
From the reviews I've seen, if you were to just jump into 4, you should, it's no big deal. But I get it. I get it. Metroid, for me, I also prefer it as a 2D game, much better. But I will say that what the Prime series does do well is that they did manage to give you that Metroid feel in a first-person view. Like they actually did pull it off. Whether or not that works for you or not, that's a whole other side story. But it does actually feel like Metroid.
Eric?
Yeah, I have all the Prime games on my GameCube just for collector's sake. I'm trying to have the best GameCube games to have. I've never beat them though, but never been much of a Metroid guy.
It's really kind of weird to see how these classic franchises have almost split. You have Sonic, that they have your 2D Sonic fans, your 3D Sonic fans. You have your Zelda games, your overhead Zelda games, and your open world Zelda games. You have your Metroid, your 2D Metroid games, your 3D Metroid games. It's interesting because I feel like they could almost be treated as different franchises within the same IP, if that makes sense. And there's very distinctive fans for each one. And sometimes I would say it feels like you play one or the other, and there are people who will cross over, right, and play both. But you stick with kind of what you know. If you grew up with the 3D version of Metroid, then you play Metroid Prime. If you grew up with the 2D version of Metroid, you play the 2D versions of it. I don't know. Am I off on that, or does that feel fairly accurate?
As somebody who's played all the 2D Sonic, Mario, and Zelda games, I've always liked those better than the 3D ones. So I think it is an age thing, generational thing.
I've been good with all of them except Sonic. I can't get Sonic 3D. Sonic does not work for me at all.
Yeah, for me, I'm with you. I think 2D Sonic is definitely the way to go. But like I said, I'm an old head when it comes to this stuff. So
I will say real quick, I was hoping that Metroid Prime 4, I was hoping that they would have taken a new direction. I was actually hoping for third person. I would have liked that over the shoulder, and then every once in a while the camera pulls out and it can be a 2D, either in exploration or fights and stuff like that. I was really hoping for some kind of hybrid, kind of taking what Metroid M did, that terrible game, but third person and doing it better when you're doing the switching.
Yeah, I know that there are parts where the new thing is the bike that you ride around on in this, and it's like open world. I think I've heard a lot of criticisms of that as well. The idea that you have to get around this world with your bike, and it's meant to be in the IGN review. They specifically talk about how it's like the open field in Zelda and Ocarina of Time. But once again, Ocarina of Time was 30 years ago at this point. I don't know, man. If you're still using something from some sort of gameplay element from 30 years ago in a brand new game, but at the same time, I guess this game has been in development for like 15 years. So
it went like I think there was 2 or 3 iterations where they canceled it and then started over. I'm pretty sure, and I think that Retro Studios came in later. I think originally it was a different team. I could be wrong about that, but I know that there was a couple of iterations.
Well, it's finally here. It is finally here. So congratulations to Retro and Nintendo for getting it out. I'll be very intrigued to see what the sales figures are. And if I know Dread, we talked about that a couple weeks ago. Dread sold better than any Metroid game ever, and it's not like it sold a couple million units, which when you look at whatever your other big titles are, it's small. It pales in comparison to like a Mario game or Wii Fit or something like that. But it is the gamers franchise when it comes to Nintendo. So it's finally here. We'll see how everybody takes to it.